Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of the Buy Round. I'm your host, James Graham, and today I'm joined all the way from sunny Sydney. Some shower issues for Chicker Charlie White, forgot his towel.
Mate, absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. I've only been back in Australia for a couple of days. I've been in Europe the last month or so, but I was playing basketball, social basketball, and I was going to have a shower here. I had a shower, got out of a shower, and I realised I forgot to pack a towel. So I was using paper towels in the bathroom to dry myself then. I'm still if you're watching, I'm still soaking wet. But anyway.
Yeah, well, it's good to hear that you still make these critical errors, Charlie, and your little gallivanting around Europe trip hasn't changed things.
Nah, mate, if anything, it's made it worse. I've come back and I'm like, I'm not ready to work yet, I don't think. Normally when you finish the holiday, you're like, oh yeah, I'm ready to go home. I wasn't sort of ready to go home. I was getting used to that life. But back to reality.
I am the opposite. It sounds strange to say this, like I've loved being home, but I'm ready to go back home.
Yeah.
And I need that structure. I need sort of something to keep my head on.
Yeah.
Keep engaged. So yeah.
You need a routine. You're a routine man. I realize maybe I'm not a routine man. I might be just do whatever you want, whenever you want sort of a man. That's the life that I would live.
And you know what, Charlie? I'm not good at having nothing to do. So like, there's been a few days I'm just like, I'm just going to run and then run again and then go to the gym and then go out.
Yeah.
Because like one of my mates was like, why don't you just have a movie night in? I was like, because I'm just going to go for a walk and a wander and have a beer. It's like, what is wrong with me?
Do you reckon that's manic energy maybe? Sounds like you might be a bit manic. Like maybe you need to find some inner peace and go, all right, be comfortable with just relaxing, mate, just sitting.
Yeah.
Being.
Well, there are some deep-rooted issues. This is all nothing new. I think I might have like ADD, where you can't actually just, sit still and just have that inner peace, like brain overactive, thinking about the life, thinking about the game of rugby league and all that. But one thing I have missed about Australia is the Oasis concert.
Oh, mate, look.
I am gutted that I missed that.
I'm wearing the tee currently, the Oasis tee.
Oh, yeah.
Mate, that was one of the best gigs ever. Like, it was so much fun. I flew in Thursday night, went to the Oasis gig Friday. Thank you very much for helping me get the tickets, James, as well. I appreciate
My
that.
pleasure. My pleasure.
And, it was awesome. I want to see one of the best gigs. Not mean to rub it in a little bit, but one of the best gigs I've ever been to. It made me see Home Mission in a completely different light and realize the Core Stadium is actually like, as much as it gets crap, for those big events, it's pretty special. 80,000 people all sitting in the stands. Every seat was filled. On the field, you probably had another 30,000 people on the field. Like, it was just amazing.
It looked that. I got plenty of phone calls. My favorite Oasis song, Talk Tonight, came on. I was gutted, like genuinely like, I just wanted to be there so much. Yeah. And I'd got the tickets before I knew I was coming over for the Ashes. And I thought, it'd be nice to be there. But honestly, like, and considering it was 2-0, it wasn't a decider. Like, part of me was thinking, do I just go back? But I was like, it's probably not. I probably can't do that. Like,
mate, it goes with your theory though of like dead rubbers. They should be gone. You should get rid of dead rubbers. It actually would have been a statement of you backing your statement and saying that dead rubbers shouldn't be played.
Yeah. Well, it would have been, wouldn't it? Yeah. It was. I'm out of here. I don't believe in dead rubbers.
And really, the real truth is you want to go to Oasis.
Yeah. Well, but I have been responsible for around about well over 150 Aussies, which has been a fun time, fun tour. It's been great for a great experience for me to see. The fans' reaction and just how much it means to them. Like there's about 150 of us traveled halfway around the world. Some people, it's their first time leaving Australia, and it's like, yeah, it's been pretty incredible. Like, and credit to Craig Brown and Rugby League Experience Tours. It's been an awesome trip. It's had, you know, issues like and logistical issues, which every touring party would have had, but the overwhelming feeling is one of happiness and pride in the supporters of our game. Just one caveat to that is it's funny, like the things that annoy me. I had one of this the other day. So I'd lost in Australia, I'd lost my running watch. Like, I don't use smartwatches for anything else but running. So they're obviously quite expensive because all the tech people that can't be 2 minutes away from there or 2 seconds away from getting a text, they need to read it on their watch. They can't just put their phone down. They've got to have the backup watch. None of that nonsense for me. I'm like, it's just a pure tool for running, which, I mean, sometimes it says, like, do I actually need it? I stew over that in my head. So I lost it looking around in Sydney for ages. And just before I came out here, it's like, right, I'm going to have to go and buy another one. So I did that. And I went with the rival brand. And it's not as good. It's not the same. But it was still like $600.
Wow. Expensive, isn't it?
And then, I know it is. And all for this watch to tell me my pace and all that sort of stuff.
5 minutes 20 for over 4.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on here. I'm on for a PB at the 10K, mate. And then I was in the hotel in London in my toiletry bag, and I find the other one.
Oh, no.
So devastated. I'm so pissed off at myself. It's not even funny how annoying that feeling is.
Mate,
I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah. With something that costs like $600 though, often there is a 30-day money back guarantee on things like that.
Yeah. Well, that 30 days is been and gone, Charlie.
Been and gone, okay. Well, because how long have you actually been away? I was trying to work that out.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Okay, yeah. So not for a month.
Yeah, get back Sydney Thursday and then heading up to the Ladbrokes Men of League race day in Cairns for the weekend. So yeah, looking forward to that one. Alfie Langer will be there, so the idea of having a dry weekend is probably out the window.
Look out. Was he wasn't there, was he, when we went? Like, who was in Cairns when you and me went to Cairns? Who did that? That was Glenn Boss, wasn't it? Glenn Boss.
Yeah.
Robbie Dolan, the jockey.
Yeah.
He's a good fella, Robbie Dolan. He was a good man.
Yeah.
The Irishman.
Yeah.
But mate, plenty's happened still in the game, which is good. I miss you, mate. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'm looking forward to probably catching up. See your face again. It feels
too,
like
actually.
I haven't seen you actually in like months and months and months, because we obviously see each other like every day during the footy season, basically 7 days a week. And then it feels bizarre that I haven't seen. I haven't really spoken to you that much. We've had obviously the odd phone call here and there and the odd text, but it's going to be good to see you. But
yeah, likewise.
Plenty's happening.
Because big news as well for you, Charlie?
Got engaged, mate. Got engaged.
Congratulations.
Thanks, mate. So
well done, Chica.
Got down on one knee, did the deed. It was a different sort of a trip. Normally, previously when I've gone away, it's like being with guys and mates and just drinking every day, basically on holiday. But this was a romantic trip, and I did it day one. I did it like 2 hours into the trip. The ring, it was sort of burning a hole in my pocket, and I was like, better just get it over and done with as quick as I can, because otherwise I don't want to have to be thinking about it. And I was on the plane. I decided to do that while I was on the plane over there to get it over and done with. Wrote a few little things down because I wasn't going to write anything down of what to say. But then someone told me, you got to think of something to say. Can't remember who it was, but anyway. Wrote something down, wrote a little speech, and then, we were on a walk, and then I tried to find like a scenic spot. I didn't have a plan, so it was just like wherever is a good spot and there's no one around, because I did not want to do it in front of a single person. Like, not a single person. So the people who get proposed in public are numpties, in all honesty. Do that in private. Do that in private. Like, I don't know why on earth are you getting down on one knee in front of a group of people like a attention-seeking muppet. So I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do it in private. Did it in private. She said yes, and then we had a great holiday. It's been an amazing trip. Like, because obviously it was a bit different to like I've mostly been on like backpacking trips and things like that. So it was a bit of a different trip. We were staying like nicer places, and it was good. It was a good time. We had a great trip.
Yeah, well, I've seen some of the pictures of where you were staying, and obviously the buy round really financially compensating you really well. So
Too well, maybe. Yeah, too well.
I might have to go in for a renegotiation of my salary with the bosses.
Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah, of course. Well, you'll be negotiating with yourself. So
yeah,
good luck.
Hey, there's many different voices in my head, but just on that, we are totally independent. So.
Yep.
You know, all the little like, subscribes, you know, the sharing of our work that we do here really does mean a lot to all of us. So thank you, because I think we just hit 25,000 subscribers on YouTube, Charlie.
We did,
so,
which is mate, it's a huge milestone. Congrats to yourself. Like, man, that's awesome. Like because where it started, it's only been we've obviously been going a couple of years, but so to get to that point's massive. And huge thank you to everyone who bought a jersey as well, because they're pretty much all sold out now. There's like a handful of larges left and a handful of 2XLs left. That's the only sizes we got left. So thanks everyone who bought a jersey. Like, that is really special, and we appreciate you. And I know Jimmy's really appreciative of you as well. Like, if it you know, that just shows a lot of support for the show. So, and that's how things keep on going, is like by engaging with the stuff. And like Jimmy says, so huge thank you, honestly. Genuinely.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're stoked with it. But yeah, footy.
We are. Footy. Australia dominates, really. A series, a 3-0 victory. And look, I've juggled with how my assessment of the series went. I think Australia, they did the hardest part of the game really well, which was defense. Like, they showed that they care about that jersey. So whatever Kevin Walters, Gordon Tallis, and Willie Peters were doing there, they got them to buy in to the hardest part of the game. Like, they were absolutely everywhere. And let me make this point about to sum that up in one play. Game 3 decider at Headingley, Reece Walsh is that desperate to stop play. He ends up he actually goes into the crowd. Like, that's how much he cared. He was going just in case. He and when you think about the context of the game, last game of the season, like, we've seen those. I think it was Brett Morris at St. Helens back in the 2013 World Cup, and he ended up like dislocating a shoulder or something by going into the stands, because the traditional rugby league grounds here are the crowd is a lot closer, and there's a safety element there. But Reece Walsh didn't care. He was desperate, and I don't even think anything come of the play, but he was just putting himself in the picture. And I think you've got to congratulate for Australia's approach to defence. Even that last game, dead rubber, you're thinking, well, let's just get into a shootout. Who cares? Like, you know, that they cared. They were passionate about their defence. And look, I thought England played well in patches, but to be moments in that game, like I say about Reece Walsh, he went just in case. England had about 4 sets on the Aussie goal line not long after half time, and couldn't manufacture points, couldn't manufacture too many opportunities. They went close, but then Australia, they get the ball back, they make their way down the field, and Harry Grant spots one marker, spots a wide A defender, and takes the opportunity. So it's just little moments of lapses in concentration. The first try from Josh Adokar, Morgan Knowles and Tino for Sumala Awe having a push and shove. The game is stopped by the referee. So usually that next play is in good ball a transfer play, and it's usually designed to look for you're playing a few steps ahead, because it's almost impossible to score off those situations. And the English right edge just made a poor decision over the top to the Fox. It's like, how did that happen? And then, look, they lose AJ Brimson. Mikey Lewis goes to fullback. Short kick, Hudson Young, and Lewis he was first to the ball. And whether you're a halfback playing out of position or not, he just, needed to dive on that. It was just the moments, the little moments that Australia were won and were willing to win. That England just missed out on it. So, and these little moments that they add up, and just back to the defensive side of things with Australia, their ability to not just withstand pressure. It's not resilience. There's actually a phrase for this. I do a bit of work for a company called Explore Performance, and we look at the concept of anti-fragile, which is the opposite of fragile. It's not like things that grow and get better through hard times. And I think you could feel that Australia were growing and gaining from adversity, and they push through the hard times. It lands a psychological blow to the opposition. And look, if England had held out, and then that would put some more pressure on Australia, but they didn't. I thought Australia's defence was absolutely first class.
Yeah, it was just sort of those moments of class, like you say. Is that because the England forwards really had put a huge effort in? It just felt like in those spine positions, Australia are at a much, much higher level than England.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. And look, we can look at it and go, well, England, it was funny. You spoke to Cam Munster after the game on BBC, and he spoke about how, like, that spine of Australia, like him and Nathan have had time together. Obviously, him and Harry Grant, Nathan, they've had a little bit of time together in Aussie jersey. Reece Walsh, comes in for Dylan Edwards, and they're going to try and build that spine combination. That, in all likelihood, will be the spine combination for the Australians heading into next year's World Cup if everybody's fit. England, on the flip side, look, you can't be frightened to make change, but for the set from the 1-6-7-9 from game one, 3 unforced changes were made going into game 2, and they stuck with the same spine. But I think, I think Shaun Wane needs to realise, figure out who is that best spine, and help them grow together, because a lot of the complaints in England are we don't play enough intense games, we don't have that state of origin factor. But if we can figure out who that best spine is and stick with it, give it time, I think over the course of the series, people may be willing to call me out on this, but I thought England showed improvement in their attack. I really do. We could see them start to try different things and different approaches. They were figuring things out, but we need to. The forwards are going to bring the action. That's never going to be in question. I thought Mike McMeekan, Matty Lees, Morgan Knowles, they brought so much intent. Callum Watkins was great on an edge. They brought so much attitude to the contest. But then, the spine was, look, and it's hard. You're playing against some of the best players in the world, but that's your job to figure it out. But then, like you say, it's like that's where they're lacking. So when we reflect on the series as a whole, I almost think it put a different opposition in there. Say England played France, and England won 3-0 because there's a gulf in class, and there's multiple different reasons why England would be heavier favourites against a French team in a series, and they won 3-0. Would the pressure then be on the French coach to be making mass changes, or is it just the reality of the situation that the Australians have got better players to pick from? Yeah.
It is a really tough one, but the reality is that there is now a lot of pressure on Shaun Wane. And, I was with Brent Reed yesterday at the Pacific Championships game, and he thinks that there's a good chance, or a huge chance, that he might not be the coach for the World Cup. And there's already names being popped up, like Michael Maguire's name has popped up. Wayne Bennett's name has popped up. Sam Burgess' name has popped up. Your name has actually popped up back here in Australia. Brent Reid actually said that he'd like to see Sam Burgess, yourself, and Wayne Bennett tackle it as a trio for the World Cup in 2026. Now, I don't want to ask you about that because I know it's awkward. There's a guy who's still in that coaching role, and he might end up being the coach. But I know club coaching doesn't interest you, but would international coaching, would that rep coaching ever interest you?
Look, Charlie, I'm going to say this. I want Shaun Wane to be the coach.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Like, I want him to be the coach. I want him to be successful. Like, I can't say anything more than that.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I think, like, it's respectfully, he's contracted, but more than that, I want him to coach England.
Yeah. And mate, I loved seeing the stuff that he did. Like, it was tell you what thing that England did incredibly well was so much behind the scenes content they were putting out on YouTube and watching that. And he seems like he's a great motivator of men, and like he speaks so well. So, mate, the other side of it, Australia's dealing with the same issue because Kevin Walters now, even though they've won 3-0, he's no guarantee of getting the coaching job for the World Cup.
That's a matter of a 5-minute negotiation. That's a 5-minute like I said, like some people may be arguing the point that Australia, their ball control or their attack, but he got the hardest part of the game, and they absolutely delivered above and beyond. They had England were trying so much, and like I say, Reece Walsh going just in case ended up in the stand. I don't think it's up for debate. I don't think there's even if there was another candidate, I think Kevy has done more than enough to have an extension.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. If they somehow get rid of Kevy after that, it would be absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But Brent Reid, the same man whose name I brought up before, he thinks that Kevy's no guarantee of being the coach for the World Cup. You know how we were just talking, who would come in? Who knows? Who knows? What, like Wayne Bennett, like who knows? Who knows? But then
they can't have Wayne.
Well, yeah, because they said no to Mal. They said no to Mal. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I don't. Yeah, it's a tough one. But back to Shaun Wane for a second. What if he came to you and said, "Hey, Jimmy, I'd love for you to be part of my assistant coaching staff for the World Cup"? Is that something that is of interest for you at all?
It'd be scary, Charlie, because what if I like it?
Yeah. Well,
what if I like it? And also, mate, let's be real here. Look, I've seen, Michael Innes. Oh, sorry. Let's go. Like all pundits are coaches without teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we are. I'm a coach without a team in a way.
Yep.
Comment on the game. I have a role at the Bulldogs that doesn't involve coaching. I love talking about the game. It's something that, it's my job, but it's something that I do anyway. But at the end of work, like at Triple M or at Fox or at Buy Round, like I go to bed and I fall asleep. If you're a coach, you don't do that. Do you want to invite that level of stress into your life? And I think, like I say, so we've seen Michael Innes do it, but do that. Well, he's going to be doing both roles next year. It's incredibly, incredibly hard, stressful work.
But as it's rep football, yes, you'd have that stress, but it's a condensed stress, so you don't have to worry about it for 52 weeks of the year.
That's true.
You can't worry about the players. Really, you can't worry about the players that much until you get close to the tournament, until you know who's going to be available. Obviously, you'll be wanting to watch players and give them feedback on their performance as the years go on, leading into the World Cup, I imagine. But, it's not a 52-week stress. It's probably more of a 10-week fully occupying your life and fully occupying your thoughts.
Well, here's, if you're doing your CV, right, for a coach's job. I don't know. Do people do CVs for jobs,
Yeah,
or is that a thing of the past?
Nah, they still do that. Still do that.
They
Still do a resume.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what my coaching experience would be on my CV? Under 10s Oztag girls team.
That's bullshit though. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You're telling me when you were playing,
And I can't get them to listen either. They're not buying into my systems and ideas and theories.
Yeah. But mate, that's nonsense though. That's nonsense what you say there. You've played like 500 games of footy. Like, I'm sorry. If you've played 500 games of footy, you know a thing or two about ideas around the game, about theories, about how to get the most out of players. You captained so many clubs as well. Like, you know, like that's leadership. You know, it's you'd be amazing at it, in all honesty. And
I know what you're. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if England called you, I think you would be the kind of person. You said to me once when you said, I never retired from England. They just didn't pick me or something like that. Like, I can't remember exactly, but you said that you'd play. If England called you today and asked you to play, you'd still play. You never retired from England. So I can imagine that if England came to you and said, hey, we want you as part of our coaching staff, that would be a hard thing to say no to.
Yeah, of course. You know what, Charlie? I can see what you're trying to do here.
What's that?
You're trying to get me into coaching. I get the bug, and then you just take over the buy round.
Yeah, full time. The buy round was Wade Graham. We'll get Wade Graham in. Just it's swapping one word. Instead of James, it's Wade.
I'll sell my share to the highest bidder. Buy round stocks. We're listed on the New York, the Sydney. Oh no, the Australian Stock Exchange.
The ASX. Yeah. Yeah, we'll not be worth that much though. We'll be a penny stock. We'd be a penny stock.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not giving up this stake in the buy round.
No.
No.
But you know, think about the content we could do for the buy round. If you were the assistant coach, the podcast behind the scenes, the first time you ever get inside the mind of a coach at a World Cup, brought to you by the buy round. You wear a little mic, we get behind the scenes content. You know, we almost film like an office style documentary where you're like the David Brent. Camp. Yeah, you're David Brent in camp.
Oh, dear. Hey, by the way,
Ricky Gervais. Just sorry to detour for a second. I saw Ricky Gervais live, his new stand-up special in London. That was one of the best experiences of my life. He is back to his best as far as stand-up goes. It comes out. The most recent special, the most recent special, I thought was not as good as his previous, brilliant specials that he's done. But this one, it hasn't obviously. That wasn't the one getting filmed, but I think they filmed the last show of the tour, and it was unbelievable, so funny.
Well, I'm again incredibly jealous that you got to do that. Just on that, I know we don't have an alcohol partner, and we have some other partners. The adverts that he's been doing for Dutch Barn vodka,
brilliant!
Oh, beyond it is. It could be the game changer in advertising.
And also, mate, the other thing is he just does he doesn't even have to get it published that creates more buzz. It's getting rejected. He puts it on his Instagram, that goes viral.
Yeah.
It's a lot of podcasts do it where they just Photoshop their podcast artwork onto Times Square and pretend it's there. And then everyone's like, oh wow, congrats, you guys are doing so well. But it's smart. It's smart. He's a smart man.
He is, but it's generated conversation. I think in the duty free on the way home, I'm going to try and see if I can get myself a bottle of Dutch Barn vodka.
Mate, bring in here the studio. We got to get the Carl Pilkington pillow back up. We got to get some Dutch Barn vodka. I got a West Ham scarf as well because I went to a West Ham game while I was there.
We're not putting a West Ham scarf up.
No. I'm forever blowing bubbles. But yeah, so Kevy, overall though, mate, what was the vibe up there in the north? Because obviously I wasn't up there. How was it received? The community, was everyone behind it? Was it making noise?
Look, in terms of the behind scenes access that England gave, again, incredible. But I thought the Australian players went above and beyond. I did the video of the open training session. Those lads just after every game, every session, so giving. I know what it's like to finish a game of footy and you just want to have a shout, sit down and relax and enjoy time with your teammates, your loved ones. and I always clap the fans. I always showed appreciation, but these lads have just gone above and beyond. It was interesting post-game in Headingley just how many English fans stayed because they knew they might get a photo with Reece Walsh or Nathan Cleary or Cam Munster.
That's incredible.
Like I think in the past when I've been and I've played in those type of games, that the presentation of the trophy, obviously it's to Australia, and English fans sort of disperse because their team's not lifting it and they don't want to. It's game over for them. But so many young kids were just hanging around waiting to see these Australian players, and I thought the atmosphere at both Everton and Headingley were sensational. And I think I read a report today that the Ashes are back in 2029. And again, hearing Reece Walsh, Cam Munster speak about they want to come back and help promote and grow the game. So we've got to leverage that. Like you've got the game's biggest stars openly saying they want to help out. And it's not for now the conversation around the NRL taking over the Super League, but if let's just categorize as if the game over here needs to leverage that and maybe take some lessons from that. Yeah.
It was interesting hearing Chammas and you speak about that, and that Chammas saying that it is a chance of happening. It's funny, mate. I read a lot of the comments of that episode, and there's a half the fans love the idea, and half the fans you can tell they despise it. They despise the idea of the NRL coming in and thinking that they do such a better job in the Super League. You can tell there's that group of English fans that don't like the idea of the NRL coming in and taking over.
Yeah, well, if they think the Super League does it better, that they're wrong. They're wrong.
Yeah.
And present me some evidence. Because, like I always say, Charlie, I've got a strong opinion, but a loose grip. Present me the evidence that over the past decade or 20 years, that where over the last 20 years as the Super League got it like an aspect of the game better than the NRL.
Yeah.
And even there's some questions around the product. Like there's almost like this ancient myth that amongst Australian fans, the game over in England, it's much more attacking style football. Like it's not anymore.
Yeah.
It's become very slow, very defense orientated. Yeah. We saw that in the first test where there was an English referee and you're allowed to lay all over. Forget the business case. Even look at the product case.
Yeah. Man, the NRL does everything better, in all honesty. And some fans might not like hearing that, but that's just the reality.
No, it is. And look, I'm not going to knock the Super League or the RFL, but it's just nowhere near in comparison.
Yeah.
It's just nowhere near.
No.
And that's reflected in, all the metrics that you could measure, all measurable metrics. We talk about a television deal for the National Rugby League, and the reality is it's going to be billions, where the Super League one is actually being reduced, and they're producing more content for the public. Figure that one out.
Back home soon, though, mate. Back home, you're off. So we'll move away from the Ashes because there's some big news here, which is, for me, it's the biggest story of the year. Genuinely the biggest story of the year. Payne Haas set to sign with R360, according to News Corp. That's it, mate. It's huge. Huge story. The figures that are being discussed are $2 million per season. He will be a player that there's talk he has already signed a letter of intent. which is massive. And the craziest thing is now, of course, it's bad for the NRL losing a guy like Payne Haas, the true superstar of the game. We spoke about him on a podcast a few months ago, and we were talking about he's one of the most incredible athletic specimens Australian sport has ever produced. But what it means for this next year coming, because if the NRL is going to stay true to their guns, that means that Payne Haas could be banned for 10 years from the game.
Yeah,
so does that mean it starts now, or does it start in 2027?
Yeah, it's going to be a real test, this, with what's around the corner. And look, we're reacting to the media speculation. Nothing is confirmed. I'd be gutted to see Payne Haas not play his trade in the NRL week in, week out. I think he would be a huge coup for any sporting code. Look, if you're in the military and you're in a war, I'd be throwing money at Payne Haas. I'd get him in the mix because he'll just cause destruction. Like anything physical, you want him in there. I'm surprised that, obviously the NFL have such a huge group of athletes to choose from, and I think Payne Haas would go well in that competition as well. But to take things back to where it looks like he's going to end up, it's going to be a big test. It's a huge loss, not just for our game, but more specifically the Brisbane Broncos. And obviously the commission have been very strong on what their intentions are and what the consequences are for going down this path. And I think with what they've been strong on and said is, look, I'm not saying this, but I think they'd have to look at a possible. They'd have to look at how possible it is to not let him play next year, and I don't want to see that. But
and if that's the move they want to do as well, and not play him, because you're taking away the best forward in the game from a viewing perspective as a fan, that's not a better product. Then you're worsening your product just to prove a point.
Yeah, but you know what it kind of reminds me of, like if it happens, is the Nick Politis stance on social drugs.
Yeah, like they'll have to swallow their pride a little bit and do what's best.
Well, obviously Nick Politis incredibly strong on the social, and that statement that he made was obviously tested in recent months. And if Payne Haas and obviously the Roosters reacted with the 13-game suspension for what allegedly took place. But if Payne Haas signs for NRL 360 and the NRL have put that statement out, then I don't know how they go back on that.
Yeah, I mean, in all likelihood, they'd rub him out for the year, which would be disastrous for the Broncos. Absolutely disastrous. That game where you watched him, he obviously played in the Pacific Championships game, Payne Haas. That could be the last game we've seen him play rugby league. If all this comes out and if the NRL decided they want to go down that route of banning players, it will end up in court, though. That will no doubt end up in court, especially if no payments delivered to Payne Haas. Like, Payne Haas will have to get paid for next year, you would think. And what's the RLPA's involvement then in this as well? Do they jump in and stick up for Payne Haas? So, it's a really awkward one. It's also an awkward one around these bans for the managers as well, because now the agents are going and finding partners for their agencies with rugby union agents, and they're going to basically have rugby union agents do the deals on their behalf so then they can keep operating the NRL. But then these rugby union agents that then come and work for them, they're going to have no loyalty to rugby league either. So they're going to just be looking to get their players in rugby union. So it's also, it's It's really messy, and I think if it was me, my decision in the NRL, if Payne Haas signs, I think you let him play 2026 just because he's that good a player. And the other thing is we heard about this fund of maybe let's have a fund if a player gets maybe poached by the rugby union, try and keep them there or to try and get players out of rugby. Well, this isn't like a player trying to rort the salary cap or, this is legit. Payne Haas is the best forward in the game. You want to keep him in the NRL. If it means that they're given an extra $1 million to the Brisbane Broncos to keep him, well, then I think you got to do that for the betterment of the game. I don't think you have to, it's Payne Haas. It's not a small name. It's the best front rower in the game, bar none. Bar none by a fair distance as well.
Yeah, but Charlie, you've got to have. Oh my goodness me, this is such a difficult dilemma, because you've got to have some principles there, and our game has lost Sonny Bill Williams in the past. Yep. Our game has lost Sam Burgess in the past.
Israel Folau.
So, when you think Sam at the time, best forward in the game. Sonny Bill Williams at the time, best forward in the game. Mm. So it's lost these players before. Obviously, that they were under, the Sonny Bill Williams contracted walkout. Sam left at the end of his legitimate deal. So we didn't panic or throw a heap of money at those two and say, please stay. Look, as crushing a blow it would be to lose Payne Haas, the game will continue to flourish.
Yeah, all right.
It will continue to flourish.
You go, sorry, James. No, you go, sorry.
No, the game will be, it will be okay. It will continue to grow. Like our product is speaking for itself. Yes, we want the world's best athletes. We want Mark Nawaqanitawase to come back after he returns to the Wallabies. We want to attract the world's best. Well, sorry, we want to attract the best athletes available to us. But Payne Haas would be a devastating loss, but not a catastrophic one. Maybe
not catastrophic, but he's a player that we can afford to keep as well if we bend the rules a little bit to keep someone like that.
But that's the dilemma of how much is it going to cost? And then are we just in a bidding war?
Well, you've got to have a set price at the start that you go into. Because, mate, these Rugby 360 people that they're going around signing players, they don't actually know who any of these players are. So they're probably not going to get into a crazy bidding war. If you say to Payne Haas, hey, mate, we need you to stay, if we find another $600,000, $700,000 out of a special fund that's not going to count the Broncos salary cap, would that be enough to keep you? And if he just says, no, it's nowhere near, well, then don't worry. Just let him go then at that point. But at least maybe can we have a crack?
You think they've got to have a crack? Yeah.
But it's a tough one. It's a game now that the broadcast deal is worth billions and billions and billions. And yes, because it's a team like the Brisbane Broncos, everyone will not be happy because they already get more third-party deals than pretty much every other team anyway. But you got to keep Payne Haas in the NRL. He's too important, I think. And if it means...
I'm against it. I don't think you have to.
I think he's so important. The game will survive, mate. The game will survive. The game.
Charlie,
I'm not saying the game won't survive.
I love Payne Haas. He's the best forward in the game at the moment, no doubt about it. If he stays in rugby league, I think he'll go down in history. But he's not even the most important person in Brisbane.
You got Walsh ahead of him,
mate. In terms of what that team leverages. He's not the most. He's Reece Walsh is light years ahead in terms of the PR aspect of the game.
Yeah.
Payne
for the game. So I thought you meant on the field. I thought you were talking about on the field. Off the field, of course, mate. Reece Walsh is miles ahead of every player in the NRL now, basically. Yeah. But on the field, Payne Haas Walsh, who's more important to the Broncos? That's a toss of a coin.
Yeah. Who's more influential?
Yeah.
That's. I think for different reasons, you could have both ahead.
While I'm going on crazy takes involving rugby union, I've got something that I thought about while I was away, because I was in a pub in London and it was the Saturday of game 2, it must have been, game 2. And there was England were playing Australia at Twickenham in rugby union at the same time as England were playing Australia that was in Everton. And it was on both tees. It might not have been live, both of them at the same time, but they're both on the screen at the same time at this pub. And basically I was thinking, how's this for an idea? What if rugby league paid English rugby union to make that a double header, paid a fee, and you try and get some of that English rugby union crowd to watch rugby league and watch the game beforehand that aren't aware of it. And then you get to showcase the NRL, the rugby league athletes from Australia, from England, on an audience that already likes a game. It's not too dissimilar. And you pay for it. You actually pay England rugby union for the right to go do that as a doubleheader at Twickenham. And you could have had that as the London game. Instead of playing a game at Wembley, you play that game at Twickenham as a doubleheader in a collaboration with rugby union.
Charlie, I know you have some great ideas. I just don't think that could or would work
at all.
No, I don't think rugby union would be interested either.
What if the fee's good enough? The fee's good enough. They're not going to say no to $5 million if there's $5 million offered to them. They're not going to say no if there's that much money thrown at them.
Well, I don't think the RFL have $5 million to throw at them. Or whoever's been running the Ashes series, I think they've been looking at this as a your profits and losses. I don't quite know the future of the game here and who's in charge over in England. I'm talking about and where we go, but I don't even know whose call that would be to make that decision.
Would the NRL pay for something like that? Like,
why would the NRL bother?
What? It's good marketing. It's great marketing, for the game.
If they had a controlling stake over
global round, exactly. Of course. And if we're doing something like global round, what's the point of doing global round? What are we actually trying to do with global round? Reach global audiences. Yeah, it's a good way to make a bit of noise around, especially with the, team like the London Broncos coming in. Which, by the way, your podcast with Darren Lockyer and Matt was fantastic. It was a really good listen. Grant.
Yeah.
Was a really good listen. Loved it. So well done.
It was good, actually. Yeah, thank you.
Good. It's interesting, and that's going to be interesting how they go on the Pacific Championships, Jimmy. So we'll move away from Payne Haas. That was an incredible game. Like Samoa, just unbelievable the amount of atmosphere that they created there, the songs they were singing during that game. Pretty much every single fan that came in had a Samoan flag. If you need a business idea when the World Cup's around 2026, get yourself some Samoan flags, rock up to every game that they play, and so you can sell flags out the front, you'll make a fortune. Honestly, there were flags everywhere. It was brilliant, like incredible atmosphere.
Yeah, that certainly cut through what I've seen of the game is the atmosphere, and it's been the same with the Tongan and the Samoan fans. They are incredibly passionate. They don't stop singing. If there are any of those fans listening, you make a difference to the team's performance. Like you really do. Like genuinely, that makes a huge difference by being loud, by being seen, by being proud. Like that makes, like as a player, you hear those fans so engaged, like you just love it. You just want to be a part of it. You want to play. You want to push yourself for them. So credit to them. Biggest takeaway for me, obviously New Zealand, Kieran Foran, emotional scenes. I thought Samoa played really well, but just the Kiwis just had enough. But for me, to take it slightly away from international football, a lot of Knights fans scratching their heads, trying to figure out what the go with this Dylan Brown mega deal is, and the optimism for season 2026 would have been relatively low, and questioning the future of the club with this deal. They are now starting to find some really shining light in this deal, and that
it's a bargain now, Jimmy. It's a bargain.
Oh, I don't know about a bargain. Well, that remains to be seen. Like, they still got to go and do it at the night. But in terms of like your gut feel and your feeling around the signing is full of optimism now.
Yeah, it's massive. And mate, especially it's great that this came at a time where Kalen Ponga's been photographed with the Wires officials. There was a picture of him and Andrew McFadden over the weekend. He's over there in New Zealand. And there is talk now that Ponga does want out. So, mate, positive signs. If Dylan Brown can play like that for Newcastle, like what have they been missing the last few years? They've been missing a great half. And if he can recreate that, the reality is he's playing like that off the back of a forward pack that is rolling.
Yes.
And that is incredible. That Kiwis forward pack is incredible. The World Cup's going to be amazing when you got teams like Samoa and Tonga and New Zealand, but specifically New Zealand and Samoa, their forward packs are so strong. It was so the Samoa in all honesty were dudded quite hard though in that game by the bunker. That is one of the most clear tries you'll ever see. It went up no try. I thought Ashley Klein was far too verbal to the bunker as well while the bunker was reviewing it. We had Ashley Klein mic'd up for the commentary, and he was really like getting in the bunkers there saying, no, I can't stand the line, can't stand the line. It was like Ashley Klein was making the decision instead of the bunker making the decision, which was strange. But
yeah, the same thing was happening in game 2 for that Cam Munster try at Everton's ground.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I was like, whoa. The referee, you've sent it up. Let them do the decision making.
Zip it and shut up. It should be the rule now. The referee shouldn't be getting involved with the bunker. The referee standing there looking on a big screen that's miles away.
Yeah.
You employ the bunker to have angles, all the different angles. They're sitting there looking at it. If you're the referee, you should just be shutting up because you're all. It's unfair on the bunker officials because they're in a position where the referee's the point of, like, he's the powerful one. He's the man in charge of the whole event. You're the bunker. You don't need the referee getting your ear when you're already trying to work stuff out. And it ended up leading to the wrong decision. And yeah, Samoa might not have won the game because the scoreline doesn't look close, but that was because they scored like 4 tries in the last 10 minutes in New Zealand. Like, that game was really close. It was just that, Samoa dropped their heads a little bit when they realised they weren't going to win.
And that decision can be really deflating. And look, you've got to be better and try and push through that, but the end of the day, like, if it's not a try, it's not a try. Like, we look, and obviously there's been a few comments around, like, with me and match officials lately, but I'm trying to pull back from that. But at the end of the day, you've just got to make the right call, especially when it goes up to the bunker. Last week I was on BBC. I was very critical of them allowing the Cam Munster try. He ran behind a player. We see it time and time again. They just drop to their knees after that in the NRL because they know an advantage has been taken. You can't run behind a player. And for those of you that say, oh, but nobody was taken out, well, you've got no idea if, as a defender, you are distracted. Like, you are visually distracted. So then, therefore, an obstruction has been created.
Exactly. But at least with the obstruction, there's like, a little element of doubt there. But like, this is a man, Dean Mariner, who's he's got the ball in his arm, puts his arm on the try line, clearly grounds, like, for me, clearly grounds the ball. And New Zealand fans will say, oh, mate, we won by 20, 30. That doesn't make a difference. No, it did make a huge difference in my opinion anyway. But great game. The World Cup is going to be so good, Jimmy. I can't wait for it, man.
It is going to be good. Just quickly as well, we spoke about Samoa, Tonga, but obviously I want to give our thoughts and the obviously with Katoa and Izzy Katoa, what's happened there?
Elias Katoa,
sorry, Eli Katoa, not Izzy Katoa. Sorry, Eli Katoa. Obviously a very delicate situation, and we wish him a recovery. Take the time that he needs. It's not a, whatever you think about concussion in our game and whatever the ramifications are in terms of the review that is being currently undertaken. We wish him a recovery and hopefully that's at the forefront of his mind, is just getting recovered, not getting back. I think if there's one takeaway from this, and I hope that this is received in the correct way. In no way is this victim blaming. And if you interpret it as that, then that's up to you. But I've said this so many times. The greatest way to stop concussions and the greatest way to manage concussions is we have to be honest with ourselves. And look, I've done that before. 2017 World Cup final, off the kickoff, I think Clemmer got me up the chops. And look, I was playing for my country, and I could have paid the price for that. Thankfully, I didn't. And we just got to encourage. Like I know that the spotlight is on the medical staff. But players, all I can encourage them to do. I think I read in the far who White had said if he had been in and around that, he would have, raised concerns. As players, we've just got to be as honest as 100% possible. I think we've, with all the independent doctors, you can fall into a little bit of a trap of that they will be able to notice, they will be able to see. But it doesn't always work like that. But fundamentally, our thoughts are with Eli Katoa, and we wish him a focus on recovery.
Yeah, and I think the NRL have done a great job of saying that they're not going to release their findings of the report until they're going to let Eli Katoa get right, and that's all that matters. And he's probably the best back rower in the game. Like at least top 3 back rower in the game. Like I hope he gets back on the field, and that's probably the least of his worries at the moment. He's just worried about his health, so it was heartbreaking to hear because I was obviously away and I didn't really truly understand the gravity of it. But then I was there with everyone at the game yesterday or 2 days ago. Oh no, sorry, yesterday for the Pacific Championships, and just talking to everyone there. I didn't realize the level of how intense it actually is, and I just hope he gets back. I really do. And I hope he's doing okay. And it's heartbreaking, really. It's truly heartbreaking.
It is.
On another note, Jimmy, your man Michael Chammas, who did a fantastic job with you over there doing some podcasts with us for the buy round, which was great. He was fantastic. Speaking of NRLs, he's been offered, or they're potentially going to offer him some sort of a head of football style role. That might not be the official title, but a strategy role for Michael Chammas.
Head of operations.
Head of operations. He's a smart man.
He is. I think this is a great move from the NRL. He's a really good operator. We've spoken to him before, and I think that's his dream role, is like a general manager of football somewhere. I think he was interested in the role at Perth at some point. Didn't get that, but I can imagine this would really appeal. You're coming at me before about getting into coaching. Be interesting one for Chammy because he does such a good job. In the media, he's got his finger on the pulse. He's got the phone is non-stop with him. It's fascinating working with journalists like Buzz, like Chammy, like all the ones where I get to spend time with, and their phones never stop. They're always taking calls, reacting, making calls. It's brilliant to watch, and Chammy is no different for that. But what if Michael Chammas goes? What about the media vacuum that will be created? Buzz is not doing his column.
Oh, I know.
Chammy, there's just going to be this big power grab by the media personality types or the journalists rather to snatch away from Chammy the crown.
Because he's been crowned this year. I think he's risen, and people might argue, for me, he's the number one journo in the game. He's been crowned. That he's taken the crown. Buzz is obviously retiring. Danny's getting older as well. Danny's still in good nick. He's still doing a great job of everything, but he's getting older. Mate, for me, I hope he stays, Chammy, because I reckon he'd be a huge loss to, the rugby league media, because he breaks stories at a rapid rate that I think people probably take for granted. Like what we should do this year with the buy round is we should find out a day where like tell mate, let us know. If he doesn't get his head of football job, let us know a day where you're going to be breaking a big yarn and we'll follow you around with a cameraman and we'll make a little mini doco behind the scenes of what goes into breaking a story. And just follow him for the day. All the phone calls he makes, we can bleep out names, certain words and stuff.
I like that.
I hope he stays because I really want him to do more stuff in the buy round next year coming.
Well,
that's
you know what's interesting, Charlie? Bit like that behind the scenes stuff. He had an opportunity to, while he was on the podcast, he was getting info about some news, and he was like, he thought that there was going to be an embargo on this news till like 7 o'clock. So he sits on the podcast. He was about to break it on X, didn't do it, waited till the podcast, then it come out, and he was filthy with himself. Like that. Filthy with himself.
Mate,
like
it's brilliant. That level of
just put it out.
Yeah, that level of competitiveness.
Yeah.
You need that in that game. And a lot of people will think journos are wankers. They're actually all mostly really nice guys. Like they're nice guys, but their jobs are intense. Like it looks glamorous. Like, oh, Michael Chammas sitting on TV shows, but he's on the phone maybe 150, 200 times a day.
Which would be a bigger loss, Payne Haas or Michael Chammas?
For me personally, Michael Chammas. Because I reckon there's a role for him here at the buy round, you know, a decent role as well. So that would, for me, would be a big loss, but a bigger loss. But no, for the game, it's obviously Payne Haas, isn't it? Because really the game will keep Chammy, you know? Yeah,
but in a different role where he's behind the scenes, he's not doing what he's doing.
Well, who would be if we had to rank the journos now, who would then be the one that takes his place? Like Brent Reid breaks a lot of news. David Riccio breaks a lot of news.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, are they the two that would go head to head? Because with Buzz leaving, Dean Ritchie's a bit older. I mean, to be fair, mate, it's been a big year for the journos in rugby league. There's a lot of moving parts that have happened. So there are a few opportunities there. Maybe there's someone young we don't know about who's just killing it, breaking news on the side, just working his way up through the ranks at the Sydney Morning Herald, at the Daily Telegraph. Who knows?
Maybe what the Herald and the Telegraph need to do is copy what we did at the buy round and put a race on, like a race and the winner gets Buzz's column or the winner gets Chammy's role. Yeah. Like, I reckon that's the way to do it.
That would be brilliant. Well, David Riccio, of course, he beat Tom Birmingham in the race, the media sprint. Emma won the media sprint. We handicapped her too hard. So maybe David Riccio's got the ticker. He beat Tom Birmingham head to head. He's prepared to take on challenges. Maybe it's Riccio's. Like
maybe it is
crown
Charlie.
to get take, but anyway,
maybe it is.
Mate, very good to see you though. In all honesty, it's great.
Likewise, Charlie. Likewise.
So I'll be seeing you. When are you back, mate? When are you back?
Thursday, but we got a show Monday.
Monday, so I'll see you then. We'll catch up. Yeah,
get
properly.
back from that Cairns race day. The Ladbrokes family of league in Cairns. So if anyone wants to get down, if you're not doing anything in Cairns, get down to that. Should be a fun afternoon. I know me and Alfie are confirmed. I think Nate Miles going to be there, maybe a couple of others as well. So
good crew.
Yeah, it should be fun.
A fair crew, isn't it?
Should be fun.
Yeah, it's a fair crew. What room is that in? Is that in that outdoor room again? Or is that just the whole venue basically?
Charlie,
you got no idea.
You're asking for details. Yeah. I'll go where I'm told to go.
Yeah, nice. We'll enjoy. Mate, we met the general manager.
Great to hear your voice,
Cairns
Charlie.
Races. He's a good man. The general manager of Cairns Races. He's a good man.
Great to hear your voice, Charlie, and I look forward to seeing you very soon, my friend.
Yeah, I'll see you soon, mate. Take care.
All right. Take it easy, mate.